Welcome to Game Changer Minnesota. My name is David Ha, and here are today's contestants. First up, once a townsfolk, about to be a storyteller, here's Jack. Get it? Blow on the clock tower.
Yeah.
Next up, scoring a 10 on presentation, it's Vivian. Next up, always searching for the next big thing, it's Alex. Yay. And finally, an idea worth spreading, it's Maddie. Welcome to Game Changer Minnesota, everybody. How's everybody feeling?
So good.
Just grand.
Pretty all right.
Excellent. Pretty all right. We've got a wide range of emotions. Now, you all understand how this game works, right?
No.
No.
That's right. Our players have no idea what game it is that they're about to play. On Game Changer Minnesota, we'll be playing a different game every single episode, and the contestants are not told anything about the game beforehand. Well, players, the only way to learn is by playing, the only way to win is by learning, and the only way to begin is by beginning. So without any further ado, let's begin. Now, Jack, I'm assuming that you have watched a TED Talk at some point in your life.
I have.
Okay, well, in a moment, I'm going to ask you to give one. To share with us a big idea, an idea worth spreading. Now, don't worry, I know that you have not prepared a TED Talk for us, so to help you out, I have prepared the presentation for you. All you have to do is just explain the slides that I have made for you.
Oh, no.
Okay. All right, are you ready to go?
Oh, I'm so ready.
Okay. Here is your first slide.
Let's start by asking a simple question. What is the simple question? A man holding ice cream. Why does ice cream melt? Next slide, please. This could happen to you. Playing board games. Something I know David hates. And I hate as well. Truly awful. I just, laughing, having fun with your friends, just the worst thing ever. Now, as we all know, croissants have been down, juggling has been up, aliens back down, and now we're in the Boba Money phase. Except kind of not really, because we've gone back in time as well, financially, to 2008. It's like, we're back in the Depression. We were in the Boba phase, and now we're in the Depression phase.
Right.
Next slide, please.
And just to be clear, this explains why ice cream melts.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because the Boba is, Boba, we've reached the peak. Boba can't melt, You can just sip on that for a long time. And then our money got too high.
Are you implying croissants melt?
Croissants kind of melt. They're laminated with butter, right? What we've all forgotten. I'm hungry. So basically, I've just been high on Discord. This is the only reason for this presentation. I'm thinking about leaving. Gonna go get a sandwich. This is all why ice cream melts.
Wow. Thank you so much for that presentation, Jack. That was brilliant. It
really makes you think.
It really makes you think. I learned so much about why ice cream melts and why you made this presentation. It's all coming together. Jack,
thank you so much.
Jack, for that effort, I'm going to award you 2 points. I felt like your explanation of the graph really made me laugh. It was very good.
Let's go.
Okay, next up, Vivian, it's your turn to give your TED Talk. I've also made a presentation for you. Are you ready?
Okay, we'll talk about what my big idea is,
yes.
which I definitely know what it is.
Yes.
Wow.
Okay.
All right. We all live in just a big crazy world out there, and lots of students. I'm a teacher, and we really live in a society. And when you really think about it, society is like a bunch of grapes. You know, we all are bunched up together, and sometimes we're like a little too close to each other, and it can be a good community where you all come together and make something beautiful like jam or wine, or you can just like kind of sit in the fridge for too long and things get kind of like stale and moldy, and then you like spread your like stale moldiness to each other, and that's a bad community. And so instead of being like a bunch of grapes, we should really be more like a sock, because a sock is
And I've always said
consistent and holds together. There's a diversity in a sock, right? You got all the different patterns and colors, and yet they all work together to make something cohesive. So let's take a look at the next slide and learn more about how we can be a sock community and not a grapes community. You can really look to the example of the celebrity pyramid. And the celebrity pyramid is a bad model for community, because when you position one person at the top, you really forget about all of the hundreds of thousands of slaves that worked together and who died building your pyramid. And we just shouldn't have a kind of community that just is seeking to glorify a single celebrity. That's not a good sock community. All right, next slide, please. It's important to have a balanced set of activities in your community. If you've got 54.1% of all people in your community who their favorite activity is extreme, look at how red that is. I mean, that's just not a good sock community
like
right
an
there.
Illness?
Yeah, if you're in a community where the main activity is extreme, it's an unhealthy community.
And then it's just really crowding out the yoga and Sudoku members of your community. And we want a good looking sock, right? We want a sock with some solid aesthetics, with a harmonious blend of fabrics and textiles. And so you look at this. Like, it's just an overpowering of red, just not an attractive sock, not a good look. Don't go 54.1 extreme. All right, next slide, please.
Okay, just to be clear, so this is a graph of a community that's not healthy. What would a healthy graph look like?
We're gonna find out in our next slide.
Okay, got it. Of course.
All right. So, what can you do in order to be a good sock community? You should really just take your example from the Jewish people. And I just want to be very clear: I'm not a Zionist and free Palestine. But what can you do in order to have a healthy sock community? Just like David, you start kind of small and then you grow up to be a big David. And that's
true.
how. And you can have some just really great socks. And this is how we can all live in community together, except for the Zionists. Fuck them.
I know David can really relate to that.
Yeah, I was once a small David, and now I'm a big David. Great, it's great
And you're
stuff.
a star.
Thank you, Vivian. That was an enlightening presentation. I thought the celebrity pyramid was a great pull from that slide. A great deal of bullshit that was really only topped by the amount of bullshit in the first slide, in which you talk for so long about nothing. It was great. I'm gonna give you 3 points for that TED Talk. I thought that was very good.
Like how a celebrity pyramid, because you clearly did not know the celebrity. You're like,
Yeah, I was like, what is that? Brad Pitt?
Famous
That's Mark
guy.
Wahlberg, though, right?
Yeah, it's Mark Wahlberg.
Yeah, that's Mark
Yeah.
Wahlberg.
Yeah. It took me a little while. I was like the 9/11 guy, but or the guy who would have changed.
Oh yeah. He said if that's right. I forgot
I've
about
only seen this person before, but I will never in a million years be able to identify who this is.
That's the man who would have stopped 9/11 if he had been on those planes.
Right.
oh my
Famously.
god.
Okay, Alex, are you ready for your TED Talk?
No, but let's go anyway. All right. So, in the last year, we've been seeing a lot of things, a lot of good things coming out of Florida, obviously. And, this really makes up a quarter of all of good purple things coming out of Florida. And we're going to go into those in the next slide.
That's so interesting. I thought the purple was just like part of the slide decoration. That was part of
No,
the...
that's a pie. That's a pie from a chart.
Got it. That's part of the information graphic. I didn't
We're going
realize.
to talk about the other 3 quarters later.
Okay.
So the really good things coming out of Florida is all of the retirees getting yeeted off of cliffs by karate. Florida has this big problem of just such a large retirement population. I mean, over a quarter of the Florida population is retired. And in the past year, a quarter of that population has been thrown off the cliff into the ocean to appease the hurricane gods in order to make sure that hurricane season isn't as bad, which is why we haven't seen as many bad hurricanes this year as opposed to in past years. So I really want to applaud the movement by the Floridians to take on this crusade.
Next slide, please.
What heroes they are.
What
To our
heroes?
country.
Really they are.
True patriots.
Of those patriots, so many have been made up of mall Santas. It's really a surprising statistical anomaly that this is a representation of all the people that have been throwing old retirees off of cliffs, and mall Santas make up a staggering proportion of those people. Much smaller, but still important in their quantity, is the cowboy population that is doing the same thing. They really have the advantages of having horses to help pull more old people. So the cowboys have really been pulling their weight in doing that, because in one cowboy with their horse, they can do the work of like 3 mall Santas. So they're really doing a lot of the work in pulling those old people over to the cliffs of Florida. Next slide, please. And that's where I really want to get into this next part, which is to always remember to boink.
And this is where the other half of the population comes in.
It came back.
So
The other half of the purple circle
population-
came back. I wasn't expecting that.
For the other half of the population, you have to remember to boink, which means be on inclines for new killings. That is what we need to do to make sure that we can get more old people over the cliffs of Florida. And if we have half
so they like rolled
Floridian
it down. Okay,
population-
I buy it.
Yeah, the incline, they have to get them up the incline first for them to go down.
Sure,
they have to have all that
Okay,
potential
sure.
energy and turn it into kinetic energy
skeptical,
because
but
when
sure,
they
okay.
splat. Yeah.
It's really
So remember to boink. Be on inclines for new killings.
Thank you so much, Alex. That was a wonderful presentation. Alex, I thought you did a great job of staying on message. I felt like your idea was big, and you are able to tie everything in very well. I'm going to give you 3 points for that presentation. I thought that was very well done. Okay, Maddie.
Keep doing what you're doing, Florida.
They're already doing a great job. If they can just keep those numbers up from last year.
Yeah.
All right, Maddie, are you ready for your TED Talk?
Yes, I am.
Okay, here we go.
Okay. I want you guys to picture something for me, right? Everybody's talking about how easy pasta is to make, right? You just go to the store, you can get some spaghetti sauce.
People are always
But
saying
recently
that.
I saw my roommate cooking, and she was using canned tomatoes. And like, I was like, what the hell? What the hell? Like, what's going on here? Because always, to me, pasta was like too many operations, right? You got some fuck-ass bowl with a bunch of hot water in it, right? And then, I don't know, you do something with the pasta, allegedly. But it's far too confusing. But
a second ago, you said everyone's
It's like-
talking about how it was too easy.
Well, I mean that's the thing. The pasta people, they can never get their record straight. I don't know. If we go on to the next slide, you'll kind of see why
Okay.
this is
I see.
really important. Because pasta's about a certain kind of, vision, a certain kind of connection to the world, right? Within each of those strands, there's a kind of electrifying substance, as kind of seen with this really bare bones depiction of the skeleton, right? Especially when you can just economize the whole thing so much.
He's
with
he's
just
sort
doing
of
it
been
with the
stripped of all of
tomatoes in
his
the
worldly
pan.
possessions along with all of his skin.
Right,
I really feel
right.
like this person is not eating very
like
much pasta.
pasta has a kind of like desubjectifying kind of sense to it in that regard, I think. I mean, this question of desubjectification is really important for my next slide. Because, I mean, this is what, in Lacan, we have this notion of the split subject, right? This is what it's all about, right? The presence of something here, what I have here, it defines me, right? Like, the way that the world exists to me now is determinate. It means something, right? What the encounter, I think, with pasta does for the subject is in the same way that the preparation of the pasta, goes through a strainer and is kind of, stripped down to its constituent parts. I also think the subject is always partial, it's always conditioned in a certain kind of way, delimited, is lacking, is the term Lacan would use here.
Okay.
So if we can move on to the next slide.
What does the magician have to do with it?
Well, they were kind of, it was their position in relation to one another, right? And it's like, you have to think also back to the origins of pasta, right? Who was making those first incisions, right? Who created these forms of pasta that last for so long and carry so much meaning, right? I remember once, I think it was Hanuman or something. Yeah, he had his scissors and there was pasta. I don't know, it's all a little blurry. There's a lot of really good literature on the pasta and its origins, and it really begins with the monkey. They're really kind of visionaries in that regard, and I think they should be recognized as such.
Wow. Thank you so much, May. That was a wonderful presentation. Very good. I do think you
I feel like a Lacan scholar now.
I do feel like you struggled to tie in the graph a little bit to your overall point, although you did say a lot of words about the shape of the graph. I'm going to give you 2 points for that presentation, Maddie. Thank you. Great job. Okay.
So does anyone remember the fable of the monkey and the scissors?
Well, that's the origin of pasta. That's how pasta was invented. Was actually a scissors.
Okay.
Someone used scissors, and then a monkey was involved, and then there was pasta.
Everyone knows.
So scissors are older than pasta. That's interesting.
Also, pasta is so hard to make that only monkeys can make it.
Yeah, the scissors had to be invented first so you could cut the pasta. They couldn't invent pasta until the scissors were invented. All right. Next up, players, it's time for a minigame. Now, before today's game, I asked each of you for an extremely niche or obscure topic that you have some knowledge in that the other players should hopefully know nothing about. How this minigame is going to work is I'm going to present one of your topics of knowledge, and the other 3 players who know nothing about that topic will each have 15 seconds to spin up the most convincing bullshit that they can in order to convince you that they know something about that topic. I'll ask the player who knows the topic to award a point to the person that they believe did the best job convincing them that they know something about the topic, or just a point to whoever they thought had the most entertaining bullshit, or to whoever you think presented a version of your topic that you wish was true. I'm going to leave the scoring criteria up to each of you individually, however you want to score a point. Just whoever made you the happiest, whoever entertained you. Okay, so the first judge is going to be Jack. So it's going to be Jack's subject of knowledge. And Vivian, you're going to be first up to convince Jack that you know something about this topic. You have 15 seconds to convince Jack that you know anything about the Germa Rumble.
The German Rumble. Okay, obviously, yeah. So that was a really famous wrestling match that took place. It was the first ever televised wrestling match between Jeremy Irons and Matt Damon.
Okay,
and
that's
they,
time. That's time. Alex, you have 15 seconds. Go.
So the German Rumble was a dance technique invented in the 1910s in like Sao Paulo, Brazil. Due to the intense gold mining in the area, they had a kind of more rumbly kind of dance. It's kind of like
Okay,
and
that's time.
that is a little bit of the German Rumble there.
Maddie, you have 15 seconds starting now.
Yeah, the German Rumble. I think that was that. I think that was that club that. Yeah, I think Miles was playing at in like the 50s, Like, and like Bird, man, that shit was killing. That shit was terrible, man.
All right, Jack, who do you think earned the point there for the German Rumble knowledge?
Honestly, I gotta give it to Vivian. Not only did Vivian correctly identify that it is actually like a WWE type match, but she even named Jeremy Irons, who isn't a character but is close enough to a real person in the German Rumble.
Excellent. Okay, our next expert topic comes to us from Vivian. And Alex, you're going to be the first to convince Vivian that you know anything about Neopets' Usuki Frenzy.
So Neopets, obviously, due to Nintendo's influence in the Neopets, the Usuki Frenzy was when one of the Neopets, Usuki, had a glitch with it, where it just like started going all over the screen and just like blurring everything, and made all the other Neopets start speaking Russian. Or maybe it was like the Sakhalin dialect or something like that. But it was like some
adjacent to Russian
Okay,
that
that's
they were
good.
speaking.
That's time. Maddie, your time starts now.
Yeah, so I mean, Usuki Frenzy is like a really important strategy if you want to have any success in Neopets, right? I mean, it starts with understanding how your tier 3 pets work, and then getting down to your lower tier Neopets. You gotta be able to combo into it. And the Usuki Frenzy is when you make that decisive move, and shift your strategy. That's what Neopets is really all about, reading the situation. Usuki Frenzy is the epitome of that.
That's what it's all about. Okay, Jack, you have 15 seconds starting now.
The Asuki Frenzy was when this new Neopet called Asuki was released, and it became like a Tumblr sexy man type beat, where everyone was just drawing very hot fan art of this new Neopet, and it was just everywhere. And they were shipping every Neopet with this new Neopet, and it was, couldn't take your eyes off of it, couldn't get away from it. It scarred everyone.
Okay, thank you. Vivian, who do you think did the best job convincing you they're the expert of Usuki Frenzy?
All of these explanations were wonderful, but I really liked Alex's visual of like the Neopets like jerking around on the screen. That was great.
They're going crazy. They're going crazy. Okay, Alex's expert topic is up next. Maddie, you're going to be first for this one. Maddie, you have 15 seconds to convince Alex that you know anything about the Baldy Mountain Mining District.
Yeah, so like if you know about like the Appalachian, right? There's this whole legacy, this history. I actually used to go out and when I'd go on my morning stroll, I'd walk past the Baldy Mountain Mine District in my little mountain town I grew up in, right? Little old me. And yeah, it just had so much wonderful ore inside. It's just, I mean, it's what we're known for, frankly.
That's time. You walked by, and every day there was so much wonderful ore inside. Okay, Jack, your 15 seconds starts now.
The Baldy Mountain Mining District was a mine on top of this big sand dune where they just kept going down and pushing the sand out, but unfortunately all the sand just got pushed right into town. So all the miners were fine with all the sand, but then there's just like 4 or 5 feet of sand just washing through the entire town, just ruining everyone's stuff. Just, everything covered in sand. It's like Dune with the
Right.
big storm covering everything.
Very good. And Vivian, you have 15 seconds starting now.
Baldy Mountain is actually a really old kind of like horror legend in Pennsylvania, where there's this mountain town, and just like people just like a normal mountain town, people shoveling coal out of the mountain, but then one day just there was like a large crash that was heard from like 20 miles away, and then the whole mine had simply vanished. It was as if like the whole community had never existed. However, you could still, sometimes you could hear like the clanging of the miners.
Okay, Alex, who do you think did the best job convincing you they knew something about the Baldy Mountain mining district?
All kind of different approaches. I really like Jack's explanation because that is really something that miners would do, just make their lives worse for profit. Well, something that mine managers would do. But that's definitely plausible that they would just bury their houses in sand and just be like, yeah, it's okay.
Great. Okay, finally, we'll have Maddie's expert topic. Jack will be first to present. Jack, you have 15 seconds to convince Maddie that you know a lot about the psychoanalyst Jacques Lacan.
Sorry, guys, I'm not just a one-trick pony.
Oh, the psychoanalyst.
It just happened to be like this.
Jacques Lacan, they invented hypnotism, stage hypnotism. They were like the first David Blaine. They were just making people fall asleep everywhere. They were too powerful, in fact, that they had to be put down by the government. Dead or alive. They needed to be stopped.
Wow.
It's like a Hannibal Lecter, but on steroids.
Great. Vivian, you have 15 seconds.
Jacques Lacan was a French postmodernist philosopher, kind of contemporary with Derrida, and talked. The only concept that I know is the lack, and it's just like I think when it's something that you can't explain. So pretty much what I'm doing now. So like, I don't actually know what I'm talking about, and that's the lack.
Okay, very good. And Alex, 15 seconds to you.
So the psychoanalyst Jacques Lacan was one of the first psychologists to go into the depth of Papua New Guinea and look at the cannibalist tribes and see kind of what their thoughts on mortality and what it means to be human, and really kind of look into what their thoughts behind like what they're doing, if they really think it's a crime like most other humans do, or what their thoughts on that are. And it was really, really influential in the 1960s postmodernist movement in psychoanalysis.
Great. Okay, Maddie, who do you think proved their expertise on the psychoanalyst Jacques Lacan to you?
I think I'm gonna go with Vivian.
Okay. That sounded, I mean, I don't know anything about Jacques Lacan, but that sounded accurate. I don't know. Okay. Great job, players. That was a fun minigame. I enjoyed that immensely. The current scores are Jack has 3 points, Vivian has 5 points, Alex has 4 points, and Maddie has 2 points. We are now going to have another round of TED Talk presentations by everyone. It'll be the same as the first round. Jack, it's time for your second TED Talk. Are you ready?
Oh, I'm so ready.
Okay, here you go.
So yeah, this is me. I live in Brazil. Not much more I can say. I know I was saying I was living somewhere else earlier. That was a fucking lie. I actually live in Chicago, Brazil.
Oh.
It's right there in the middle of the Amazon. Believe it or not. This is the real Windy City.
I think
The
more
Southern
TED Talks
Hemisphere
should start
Windy
with just, so yeah, this is me.
Alright, next
Not
slide.
really a TED Talk, but okay.
So yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Record
This is
scratch.
my experience in Brazil. This is why Chicago, Brazil is better than Illinois, Brazil.
Record scratch. Yeah, that's me. You might be wondering how I got here.
Oh god. Target. Terry Crews. I know celebrities, I will say. At least one. So basically, everyone loves Terry Crews, but if you really, really zoom in, you see he's got a really nice set of chompers. Like, really, really nice. And in Chicago, Brazil, everyone has their own personal dentist. This is really important and really leads to great, great teeth health. Like Terry Crews. Why else is Chicago, Brazil better? Well, it's so obvious. Our choice of snacks is just the optimal ratio. Now, look at this. You ever hear of Munchie Mix, where they mix Doritos, pretzels, and Cheetos? Well, we have.
Of course, I've heard of that. Yes.
Yeah, we have Peacock Mix, which is Ritz, Goldfish, Saltine, Graham crackers, animals, and white. What is white?
What's the white?
White are white jawbreakers, like lemon flavored jawbreakers. You
I
want
think
that
it
at
was
a
just I thought it was going to be something else.
solid 25%. This is why your teeth have to be so good. Because when the snack mix is 25% jawbreakers, you are really, really cutting it close with how many teeth you're going to fucking snap. And everyone knows this food is the best. It's better than the cheddar caramel mix popcorn. It's better than the whatever the fuck else, like Chicago style hot dog. This is just the greatest snack mix of
So
all
much
time.
better than Chicago,
So this
Illinois.
is the real Chicago mix.
Chicago, Brazil. This is a presentation about why
Chicago,
Chicago, Brazil should be known as the main Chicago, essentially.
Yeah, exactly.
Got
Your
it.
popcorn is dog shit. This is the real snack mix. This is the truth. All right. Next slide, please. I will now demonstrate this by turning off all of the lights. All right. So, oh yeah, this is perfect.
Oh yeah, that is a really
So-
good snack mix.
That's
yeah,
good.
so, I would be afraid in Chicago, Illinois if I turned off all the lights, but in Chicago, Brazil, I know it's all chill. Oh, it's so good. I'd show the camera, but I
Naturally, yeah, of course.
delicious. Yeah,
I'm
naturally.
not hearing
of
the
course.
crunch of the jawbreakers, actually. Can you get a little closer to the microphone with that?
What's your dentist name?
Dr. Fernando. I'm gonna
Wow.
turn the lights back on.
Yeah, I think you proved your
Now.
point with the demonstration
And
for
maybe
sure. That
perhaps
really
go to the next
demonstrated
slide.
your point. That's it. That was the end. Fantastic.
Thank you.
Wow.
Yes,
I'm imagining
yummy.
it's like the puzzle where just like everyone is someone else's dentist.
Because everyone has their own personal dentist.
So you have to
Well,
be
because they
some-
can't dentist themselves, I
Yeah.
guess, right?
Famously, yeah.
Yeah, I guess the
Um,
old people have to
I
have a
probably
child
could,
dentist.
Yeah.
but-
Like someone's gonna have a baby dentist, unfortunately.
That's
This
just the way it
poor
goes.
child.
Okay,
Yes.
Jack, that was wonderful. I think that was my favorite presentation so far. I'm going to give you 4 points because that really made me laugh so much. That was really good. Well done. Okay. Vivian, are you ready for your second presentation?
Go
Second TED Talk. Okay, here you go.
power. We are defined by power. But how can you get more power? And the answer is a gun. You see this guy? This guy was walked over in his life by everyone, and no one wanted to listen to him at all. His kids wouldn't listen to him. His spouse wouldn't listen to him. But then he got a gun, and now everyone listens to him. So now we're going to learn more about how can you get and keep power in your life.
Is this a real person or is it like a hypothetical person you've invented?
No. This is a real guy.
This is a real guy.
His name. Yeah, his name's Dr. Sinclair.
I was hoping for a second it was going to be Jack's dentist.
No, he's a dentist.
Right. That's a good point.
So yeah, obviously, one really simple way that you can get and keep power is by simply just making that simple adjustment to your Crocs and putting them in sport mode. All right. What if you have to, suddenly appear on a game show and you need to go run and perform tasks and you realize, oh my God, my Crocs are falling off because I didn't put them in sport mode. And so that's why Paul Ego put his Crocs in sport mode and became very, very powerful.
Wow.
So another way that we can get and keep our power, as you know, wisdom, totally overrated. And funk, it is important, but not as important as, radio DJs want you to believe. Tears, and this is where like I differ from the normal like Sigma male podcasters is you do have to have between 60 and 80 tiers. It's really important actually. But really the key metrics that you need to focus on in order to gain power are fury, and you need to be at 100 spunk. It's just like absolutely essential. So if you can macro your stats, min max, in and out, carbo load, this is what you'll end up with. So very important. Keep I take a picture of this slide so that you can reference it for the future. As we know, this is the power map of Australia. Everyone's familiar with this, obviously.
Obviously, everyone in the audience, we all know this.
Yeah. So, trombones. It's too much to go into exactly why a trombone represents power. But these are your power hotspots in Australia. So you gotta go visit your hotspots, and that's gonna really maximize your spunk. Get your fury right at that optimal level. And so make sure that you make your pilgrimage to all the Australian power hotspots.
Mm.
And then you will never be looked down on like Dr. Sinclair, and you too can get a gun.
Wow. Thank you so much, Vivian. That was a powerful presentation, if I will, about how to gain power.
Thank you for
I think that was the presentation was worth 2 points. I thought it was very well put together. It's good stuff. Very powerful. Okay. Alex, are you ready for your second TED Talk?
Ready as all ever.
Okay, very good.
All right, so we all think that we know what's in our food. But do you really know what's in there? You don't really know what's in there until you look closer. Like, I'm talking really close. So we're going to look a little bit closer into the things that we're putting in our bodies. Next slide, please. So a lot of people think that our burgers are made of mostly minions with bare feet. Specifically, I think this is Bob. I think this is Bob the minion, with just those succulent toes. And most people think that it's mostly that. Like, if you ask someone just on the street, what's in our burgers, minions or music, they're going to say minions. But really, the music, it plays a very important role in binding everything together. Those minions don't really have much connective tissue. So those
as opposed to music,
melodies,
which has
really,
okay, right, got it.
They have those connective melodies and those harmonies. They really just mesh everything together. And that's just what people are getting wrong about their food. Next slide. And that's really just changing how we think of what good food tastes like. This is just a random rating that I pulled from TripAdvisor, or no, it was, I think it was from Shopify or something, saying that Chipotle is a 5-star place, but the library these days is only at 2. Why is that? That's just because of the food that we're eating. Aiden, he's only getting 1 star because he's just not eating good food. He's eating too much minion with feet. That is a problem in modern society. Compare that to older societies like in Istanbul, where they have, the Hagia Sophia, all of these cultural landmarks.
Istanbul,
bursting with music.
They were barely eating any minions with feet. Their minion
They're not eating very many minions.
Consumption was so low.
And then almond joys, they're not much. There's not much minion in there. There's a little bit of minion, which is what brings it down to 3 star. But then Chipotle, that is the highest quality. It's all music in Chipotle. It's no minion. Aiden, that's just another minion. His diet is all over the place with just 1-eyed minion, 2-eyed minion, but all of them have massive feet. And that's just a real big problem in society. We need to be more like Chipotle and Istanbul and less like Aiden at the library.
Yeah, sorry, the library they're eating minions with feet at the library too?
Yeah.
Okay.
In the minions with feet section, probably.
Right, it's definitely not the music section.
The picture book.
No.
And, my 6-year-old son, I asked him about this, and he just said that he yearns for the mines, which is such a problem in modern society because he just wants to be like the minions, putting on the overalls every day and his goggles and going down in the mines. But what he really should be thinking is about where the art in the world is. He needs to pick up a paintbrush and paint a beautiful piece of music. He needs to get that image of the minion's feet out of his head. Get the grind set of mining with the minions, all barefoot. You all want to do it, but you got to get that mindset out of your head and just pick up a paintbrush and paint a melody. Thank you.
Wow. That was a powerful presentation, Alex. I thought the graph explanation was one of my favorite graph explanations so far. And then I feel like that ending really sounded really profound for some reason. I really enjoyed that. So I'm going to give you the full 4 points for that presentation, Alex. I thought it was very good. All right. Maddie, are you ready for your second TED Talk?
Yes, I am.
Okay. Come on.
Now, many times in the world of business, the question of how do you make yourself stand out is so critical, right? You got to be fast. You got to be able to break things, right? And they don't want somebody who's just like any average Joe, That's not going to revolutionize things, right? I'm talking fast revolutions like a spinning top, right? Next slide.
Of course you are. Yeah, we're all there. Good.
And here's the problem, right? People don't have that dog in them, steering the ship, steering the boat, directing them to make money moves. It's just not there, right? And it's like, you gotta get that dog, you gotta get dog mode. It's the only way you'll get the money, because dogs want money. Have you ever seen like a little fuck-ass chihuahua that's not wearing like some like money shit? Because the dogs love the money.
This is sounding like a Sigma Male podcast.
Because this is how you gotta be in the world of business, right? So next slide, please. Now, everybody's asking me about investment, right? Like, where are the bubbles? Like, what's the new thing, right? Because, the new Mario Kart World just came out. I know Luigi's in that. And, like, but then they made, like, the tracks weird. But then they got Shaq over there. Is that Shaq? I don't know.
Bronze.
I don't know basketball players. Is the truth. That's LeBron? Well, yeah. I mean, he's probably really good as well. I think he's like the modern really good basketball player, correct?
Yeah.
And
LeBron's pretty good, yeah.
And that's money right there. Modern money basketball. But like you gotta have the high fidelity graphics, right? Because they made it open world, and that's like everybody loves open world because free choice and you can invest your time where you want, because then that's like investment, right? But you just got to manage these bubbles, you know, like your sports bubbles, your high fidelity animation bubbles. I mean, that's investing. That's investing 101. 102 maybe. We talked about bubbles. That's the 2 is where you introduce the bubbles. But anyways, next slide.
101 is LeBron, 102 is Bubbles. Got it.
I mean, it's like, because let's talk about connections, right? Everybody's like, oh, you're such an ass kiss, right? You know, you're always just trying to buddy up to the boss or whatever. But the thing is, investing, making money moves, it's not about kissing ass, it's about licking knee, right? Because you got to be like looking them in the eye while you're doing it, right?
That's the name
right?
of my new book.
That's how you
now.
make money moves. ABCs of business. Always be cunningless. That's what business is all about, right? That's like, I'm just saying, like, because if you don't have these money moves, you're not going to make it, right? If you don't know the ABCs of business, you're not going to make it. Like, I be glad right now. I'm the one who's telling you this. You're not going to go out there, try your little startup, and go kaput, right? Hey,
nobody else is going to tell you this advice. That I guarantee you.
Right. Hey, I'm just being nice. I'm just trying to be nice here. Jeepers.
Wow. Thank you so much, Maddie. That was a wonderful presentation. I feel like I learned so much. I think that one might have been my favorite one. That was so great. That was one of my favorite graphs that I made in preparation. I was really curious to see how people would handle that graph, and I thought you did a great job. I think you even tied it in with the financial bubble about to burst. I thought that was really clever. And then your ending line, which I will never forget for the rest of my life, your ABC, always be cunnilingus on the knee. So I how can I give you anything but the full 4 points for that one? That was incredible. Okay, well, players, that brings us to the end of the game. At the end of the game, the final scores are: I have Maddie with 6 points, Alex, Jack and Vivian with 7 points, and Alex with 8 points, making Alex today's big winner. Congratulations, Alex. Well done.
I still don't understand the rules.
I mean, there was not many. Well, I want to thank all of you guys so much for coming online and doing this and being a little silly for YouTube. So for Jack, Vivian, and Maddie, for the consolation prizes, I will be DMing you each a videos of some of my favorite TED Talks, which you can enjoy on your own time. And for our winner, Alex, congratulations for winning this game. You have earned the ability to further expand your knowledge and mind, just like a TED Talk would, or you can choose. You can also not do that, but you can choose between a 1-year Masterclass subscription, 1 year of Spotify Premium, or if you would not like to learn anything at all, you may also choose 1 year of Nintendo Switch Online.
Oh, wow. It's like actual things.
Yeah, it's a real prize, yeah.
I might have to go with Spotify then.
Okay, very good. Congratulations. All right, well, thank you very much. That does it for us here at Game Changer Minnesota. I'm your host, David Ha, reminding you that there's no better time to present than the present. Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Good night.